I will close it. And I just use the link to make sure people know we're in here.
Excuse me.
We are
Ready to go?
live and we're ready to go.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the special board meeting, Board of Trustees meeting of Tuesday, June 4th. Let's go around the room. I'm Mark Kissinger, President of the Board.
Charmaine Witchessinger, trustee and co-vice president.
Sherry Whiting, board treasurer.
Sarah Patterson, trustee. Laura Gonzalo, trustee. Caroline Brancatella, secretary and trustee.
Lisa Scones, trustee, and you and the last board liaison.
Michelle Walsh, co-vice president.
And Jeff Kirkpatrick, library director.
Okay, next order of business is public participation. Seeing none, we'll move right on to new business. There's a couple items that we want to talk about today. The attorney engagement for Seeker Bond Council building project, the Seeker process update, and some other new business if anyone has it. So do you want to do the Seeker process update quick, and then we'll do the I'm going to flip it around.
Okay, fair enough.
So.
And let me just stop my share here for a
Okay.
second. So basically, we had a large meeting between our architects, the landscape engineers, Bob Schofield from Whiteman Osterman Hanna, and one of his seeker expert attorneys, and Suzanne Angranero and Albert from Ashley McGraw, to sort of get everybody together in a room so that we could talk about how we do the seeker process, because it involves SED and what type. There was some question about what type of process that we have. So for the record here, it looks like our process will be what's called an unclassified seeker process, either type 1 or type 2, which would type 2 is like you're basically exempted. You do a nice little short form, no big deal. Our HVAC project was that kind of, it basically didn't disturb the ground. It was very minor impact. This is unclassified. So we'll have an unclassified seeker process, which will begin essentially immediately after we engage. If you vote to engage with Whiteman Osterman Hanna, we'll start that process. We'll notify the other government units that might have standing in our seeker process and see if they want to be lead agency. The expectation is, of course, that no one is going to be interested in being lead agency on that. And then that will give us plenty of time to get all the public notices out in plenty of time. Give us about a month's worth of wiggle room before the October 1st vote, which was my question right along, because this process was relatively unknown to me, was will we be able to meet our October 1st vote deadline? And the answer looks to be absolutely yes, even with the vagaries of the mail system and all of that. Our notice, we have to post in the Spotlight, we have to post in the Times Union. Those are our papers of record. We'll make sure that it gets out there so that the public is notified of our environmental quality review process. That's where we are. As part of that, this meeting, which was originally called to look at the property transfers between the school district, it is the advice between the library and the school district. It's the advice of Whiteman Osterman that doing the transfer and subdivision, or rather unsubdivision of this property, consolidating this into one lot, should be part of the seeker process. That so there's no appearance that we're trying to do something ahead of time to make it seem like we're trying to avoid some aspect of seeker, even though our total property is substantially less than 10 acres. It's really like 3.8, even with all the properties put together. So none of that, we don't reach any of those thresholds. But that said, it's still better to do that property transfer and consolidation as a piece of the seeker, do this environmental quality review, run through that environmental quality review, and at the end, consolidate all those properties at the end of that process. So that's the advice of our council. Whiteman Osterman also has a relationship with the Bethlehem School District and is an advice to them as well that they also hold off on receiving those properties, just to make sure that the process, this environmental quality review process, is bulletproof, so it doesn't become a source of potential concern later on in the project. So that's why we are not considering a property transfer tonight, even though we were all queued up and ready to go on that.
Okay.
As advice of counsel, there's still time to do that if there were to be different advice or a different opinion that we want to move forward with that before the secret process. There's still time to do that, but I think as Whiteman Osterman looks to be our main counsel for bond counsel, secret process, and basically all aspects of this project from this point forward, that's the advice of that counsel, that's what we do. We don't consolidate the property until it's aspect of that consolidation is in fact part of our environmental quality review. So that's why we're here. And I hope, and we're not considering those property transfers tonight. I've communicated with the school district, let them know why it was the case, why we're not looking at those. But all of that process is ready and queued up. All of the documents are ready and queued up when it's decided that it's time for us to move forward with that. Questions about?
So just to clarify, so the district didn't have any concerns about saying, rolling this in at the end of the secret process? You said you mentioned.
No, and that's, so Whiteman Osterman represents the school district as well. And he said, my advice to them and you is that we do it this way. And Whiteman Osterman has a lot of, Bob Schofield in particular, has a lot of experience with district library building projects. It's an expertise. And so I think we have to take that advice, and that's the best advice that I can give you.
Okay, I just had one question. What is the role of the board in the secret process? Do we have a separate role?
Absolutely. Yeah. You'll be authorizing a first step, authorize the attorney that authorize the engagement letter so I can sign on and officially get the attorney. Then there's going to be public notice resolutions that have to go out. You might be seeing those at the June 10th meeting. I'll let you know.
Okay.
That's just next week. So we're on super short timeline, but the board will have to authorize and basically the first resolution will be your intention as a board to declare you as the board as the lead agency, your intent to seek to be the lead agency on our environmental quality review.
Okay.
So the school district has an interest. Clearly, they own the property. The New York State Education Department has an interest, though they have a standing regulation to never be lead agency on these for projects like this. The town of Bethlehem has a minor interest that so we'll send out to all of these different agencies. We'll send out all our proper notices. But in our letter is that the intention is that the board is the lead agency on this. So that is the resolution that's likely to happen at June 10th.
Okay.
Well, for everyone's awareness, I work for the Department of Environmental Conservation, and I decided to just check with our council to see, if there's any issue participating in a secret process. And I was advised to recuse myself from that part of the process. I don't have to leave the room or anything like that, but I shouldn't vote on decisions. So I can still be here and listen, but just to avoid any, appearances of any conflicts of interest. Fortunately, I'm sure you'll find other ways I'll volunteer for other things to make up for that, but that's just for everyone's awareness.
Right. And this is just an aspect of the project. It's not the total project. It's just the environmental quality review is sort of a thing that happens at the beginning of the project.
Okay. Any other questions?
So the report will come back to the board once everything's done. I assume they issue a report and their findings.
Yeah, so already what I have in my hand from our landscape engineer is the LEAF, they're using a lot of acronyms, the long environmental form I have that has been filled out by our landscape architect is being reviewed by our attorney presently. I have a copy of it in my hands. That will go out and then the determination of the type of project that it is, which looks to be an unclassified project. Whatever reports, whatever pieces of that we have to go along, whatever reports we have to have will be shared with the full board. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is it normal procedure that the board is the lead agency in an item like this and not the library?
Well, it's the library, but you're the governing body of the library. So we'll say the library it wants to declare itself to be the lead agency, but for this purpose, you collectively are the governing board of the library. So that's what's declaring itself to be the lead agency. And
Because there's a financial impact here.
it's not that, it's that when we're reviewing, if we're reviewing what's the environmental impact of this project that we're intending to do. Some government, when it's a government project, some government has to say, we have the most vested interest in reviewing this and making sure that we're in compliance with all of the environmental quality review. Like there's a lot of government entities, the state of New York, the New York State Education Department, DEC. There's a lot of other entities that, and particularly the school district, right, as the owners of the property and land. There's a lot of governments that may have interest in this, but it is typical and usual for instance, a school district. For a school district project, the school district would declare itself the intention to be the lead agency. We send out notices to all of these other governments. They come back and say, I have no objection, which is what's very likely to happen. I have no objection to the library declaring itself to be lead agency on this.
Mhm.
And for those of you who are here during the HVAC project, we did this. So we declared ourselves the lead agency. Again, that was a micro impact on the environmental quality. So it was just specifically kind of an exempted kind of project, but that's all we're doing here. The library is the lead agency on that. It doesn't mean that you're responsible for doing any of the reports that are necessary. We'll be hiring consultants to do that.
Gotcha.
Okay, any other questions for Jeff on the process? Okay, moving to the attorney engagement for seeker bond
Okay.
counsel.
We'll
Bill.
share that out here. The shortest board packet in the history of board packets. So this is the engagement letter, and you have to authorize me to engage Whiteman Oster. They are already an authorized attorney. They're on our list of yearly approvals, so we work with them. We've worked them in the past with sort of smaller issues, but for this project, we're engaging them specifically, and you have to approve me to sign a contract with them. So.
Giving us a very nice rate.
So I say again,
They're giving us a very nice rate.
I was gonna ask you, I rely on you as the attorney consult. Is that in standard? Those rates are in line with what?
That rate is, you should take that rate.
Okay, any questions on the document? I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve engagement of Whiteman, Osterman and Hannah.
I'll second it.
Discussion, all those in favor, please sign by raising your hand. Opposition, no, recuse, okay. Laura,
Just abstain.
okay, abstain, okay. Okay, great. That motion passes. Any other new business while we're here? Okay, I need a motion to go into executive session then.
For the purposes of the yellow one.
I move we enter into executive session to seek legal advice from the library's attorney per exemption 108 (3) matters confidential by federal or state law.
Second it.
Discussion, all those in favor, please sign by raise your hand. That motion